They said it was news, but news does not bleed like this. News does not hunt. News does not whisper and then roar.
Headlines screaming in the dead of night, painted truth in borrowed light. They write.
A demonstrable pattern exists across both British and American media. A concentrated cluster of right-leaning, politically connected media corporations, Daily Mail and General Trust, DMGT, News Corp, owned by you-know-who, Murdoch, and Penske Media Corporation, PMC, controlled by Jay Penske, have consistently published negative, often anonymous source-driven narratives about Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, for nearly 8 years. The triggering article that prompted this research, Variety's March 17, 2026, piece by Matt Donnelly, titled Inside Meghan and Harry's Falling Out with Netflix. I didn't know they had a falling out with Netflix, but according to Donnelly, they have, is a recent example of this pattern now expanding into American entertainment media under PMC's ownership. Understanding this pattern requires mapping the ownership structure, political alignments, financial ties, and the amplification ecosystem of social media hate networks that sustain it. Welcome. This is Majesty's Sussex Report, and I'm Antonio. Thank you for spending some of your valuable time here with us. Don't go anywhere.
Sources say, but no one speaks. Insiders claim the story leaks. Carefully crafted, line by line, a perfect storm by grand design. They crown the villain, choose the fall, decide who rises, who they call. And when the truth begins to breathe, they bury it beneath belief. I see the pattern clear as day, a script we never chose to play. But hearts don't lie and eyes can see the space between reality.
Penske Media Corporation, PMC, is the single largest owner of Hollywood-facing entertainment trade publications in the United States. Founded by Jay Penske in 2004, PMC currently owns or controls Variety, Rolling Stones, Billboard, The Hollywood Reporter, Deadline Hollywood, Women's Wear Daily, WWD, and many, many more. Also in the entertainment directly production, Dick Clark Productions, Golden Globes, Billboard Music Awards, American Music Awards. Even South by Southwest is owned by the Penske Group. A 20% stake in Vox Media, which owns the New York Magazine, The Verge, and Vox. One media executive described Jay Penske as the Rupert Murdoch of entertainment media. This concentration means that a single editorial culture and ownership philosophy, whether consciously directed or shaped by implicit pressure, can influence coverage across all the leading entertainment news brands simultaneously. You get that? So sometimes we see these articles in the Hollywood Reporter, and they say some nasty things about Harry and Meghan, especially Meghan. And then 2 months later, we see another article, but this time it will be in Variety. And they'll say some nasty things also. I mean, they basically repeat the same things. But then as an outsider, right? Let's say you read both of those two magazines, and you're thinking that they're independently, their editorials are independent, and you're going, hang on a second. So the Hollywood Reporter 2 months ago said this, and now Variety is saying almost the same thing. There must be some truth to this. When in reality, It's all the same. They have one editorial, right? For all of the ecosystem, all of it. And a lot of these magazines before used to be considered more progressive, fair, liberal, almost. So let's say that. And a lot of, and people don't realize, because billionaires, millionaires on the right have been slowly buying up media, right? And next thing you know, we're getting a very different narrative. And you're like, well, I always read the Hollywood Reporter. I trust them; they're so good. But guess what? They've changed. So, looking at their political alignment, the Penske family, or Penske, the political lineage of the Penske family is firmly Republican and fully aligned with Donald Trump. Key documented facts here. Roger Penske, Jay's father, personally donated $45,000 to Trump in 2020. This donation went to the presidential campaign, and he contributed an extra 1.1 million to Trump's 2017 inauguration fund. In the 2024 cycle, individuals affiliated with Penske Corp poured in 1.1 million into Trump's primary super-PAC, Make America Great Again, Inc., and an additional $1 million to another pro-Trump group. So, they're close. Open Secrets data confirms that over 80% of Penske Corp 2024 political contributions went to GOP committees or conservative outside groups. Roger Penske received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from Donald Trump in 2019, after which he publicly endorsed Trump for re-election. Trump called Penske a friend of mine for a long, long time. Jay Penske himself visited the Trump White House. While the Penske family separation between Jay's media company and Rogers' automotive empire is often cited, shared political DNA and financial ties to the broader Republican Trump machine are well documented. Now here's some more stuff here. So Saudi Arabia investment. This complicates things a little bit more. The waters kind of get muddy a little bit here. The same thing like Prince William going to like Saudi Arabia and taking photos with this and that and doing. Anyways, I'm saying people get the links, link these things, because it's all one big mud fest of swine. In 2018, PMC received listen carefully, a $200 million direct investment from Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund. The investment, initially reported as coming from Saudi media company SRMG, was disclosed while Saudi King Prince Mohammed bin Salman was under international scrutiny, and you folks know why, following the unaliving of journalist Jamal Khashoggi. PMC's leadership refused comment on whether they would reconsider the investment in the aftermath of Khashoggi's unaliving. Critics noted the optics of a company that owns publications claiming to be guardians of Hollywood press freedom accepting hundreds of millions from an authoritarian government. Now, when I say all these things are linked, all these things are linked, right? Because the political sphere, the media sphere, the royal family, all of that, it's all linked. Why do you think you have, what's his name again, Jared Kushner or whatever? Ivanka is, I don't know, whatever he is to her. Um, he's always in Saudi Arabia collecting millions upon millions upon millions. It's just fascinating. I mean, even that person, I don't want to say his name again, right? But he is in the files saying thank you for my gift that you had delivered in Japan. And if you folks know what kind of gift these people were entertaining with, you can get the picture. All these things are, I mean, doing research and trying to dig up some of this stuff and trying to you have to read so much. You have to like look over here, but then you look over here and you're like, oh well, it's not, that doesn't make sense. And then you will find some article somewhere like 2 years ago that actually go, oh, now that makes sense. These two things now connect. It is just, it's a different world. It's a different world. Now, the pattern here. Once Penske takes over or buys over any sort of media publication, editorial independence shrinks. Conservative shifts, grows. So, many times they take over these publications. They're like, oh no, I'm not going to meddle. I like it just the way it is. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Call me George. So internal sources, see, I'm using sources also. Internal sources and independent media observers. You see, this is where, I just don't use the sources. I check, and these independent media observers have documented a consistent shift at PMC properties following acquisition. After PMC acquired Rolling Stones, Variety, Billboard, and The Hollywood Reporter, insiders reported a consistent trend: editorial independence shrinking, advertisers' influence growing, and a deliberate shift away from progressive cultural voices. At even South by Southwest, which Meghan attended a few years ago, which Penske took full control in 2023, staff reported direct pressure from ownership to feature more conservative speakers, a mandate that came directly from ownership and not from the audience demand. Audience wasn't demanding this. When longtime festival president Hugh Forrest resisted, he was terminated along with 9 other senior executives. See? Now, the Matt Donnelly Variety piece published on March 17, 2026, Inside Meghan and Harry's Falling Out with Netflix, this sort of fits the pattern precisely, right? The article just fits into their philosophy, to their connection and involvement with other similar type of media across the pond, around the world. So the article relies on 6 anonymous insiders with no names, titles, or verifiable affiliations cited. Right? So that is like, imagine, so that is like, let's say I'm walking on the street, right? And someone just comes up to me. I'm talking to the Rangers and people who believe this stuff, right? This is the anyways, this is the best example I can think of presently. So I'm going around I'm doing my own business. I'm la 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 la, walking on the street, la la la, well on the sidewalk, pavement, whatever we want to call it, la 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 la, and someone walks up to me and says, "Hello," and I'm like, "Oh, hello," and they said, "Oh, um, can you please hand over your debit card?" What? My debit card? Oh, also, we need your PIN. What? You need my PIN? Yes, because um, you haven't heard the news? Well, there is someone who works at the bank who has said that you must hand over your debit card and provide us with the PIN. Oh, okay. So who's this someone? Well, we can't disclose the name because that would defeat the whole purpose. These things are usually only delivered from people like myself. We have the connection to the people at the bank, and we don't like to disclose their names or titles or anything because that complicates things for us. That is what it is. Any information that is coming to you, especially within this kind of environment. Now, keep in mind, like, anonymous sourcing was created and protected because of whistleblowers, because of political issues, right? That people needed to be protected. So there is a valid reason to have anonymous um, sourcing, because people who may want to bring things to the public that are either illegal or things that are happening in government, they need to be protected. But when it's being used in this sort of entertainment sphere in order to demonize someone and put in question their reputation, this is where it becomes very, very dangerous. And they are taking full advantage of it. Full advantage of it. So, claims that Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos has reached his limit with the couple sourced to unnamed individuals. So Ted Sarandos, the same man who was with Emma, who said Meghan is incredible, like the way, like, she is able to sort of create this sort of media. I don't want to use the word frenzy, but let's say frenzy. And that you have people who are analyzing frame by frame of things that she sells out. She puts on a straw, a straw shoes, and it sells out in 5 minutes. I'm being silly here now, but you folks remember, right? And he has said this many a times in other interviews, that the Sussexes are wonderful to work with. Now, a company can change and pivot because circumstances may need them to pivot. And associations and relationships that they may have had business-wise with different companies, they may say, listen, we are no longer going to pursue this route or this route in merchandising or in commercial, blah, blah, blah. So we are going to hand over our share back to you. Like, we love working with you, but we're going to pivot, and now we're going to concentrate more on this thing over here. There's nothing wrong with that. It doesn't mean that the relationship between the two people is spoiled or has gone bitter or anything like that. Now, they also portray their professional conduct as problematic, poor communication, tensions during meetings, using only unverifiable hearsay again. So I can say, for example, right, that Matt Donnelly doesn't know what he is talking about or what he's writing about. Because if you're going to call yourself a journalist, and most of this scathing sort of scandalous claims that you're making, it's all from anonymous sourcing. I'm sorry, that's like you um, hiring someone on one of these applications to do your article and then claiming that you wrote it. I mean, come on. Now, it was published on the same day the article appeared on Variety's homepage and immediately amplified by social media accounts. Because that's how they do it. Now the lawyer for the Sussexes came out and made a statement. Even in the article, there are statements contradicting what Donnelly is saying. But you see, that's not the point, people. It's not the point. We can yell as much as we want. We can contradict it. No, blah, 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 blah. They don't care. Because the purpose of the article is to keep repeating what they've been repeating for the last 8 years. And if you're hearing a thump, it's me because I'm thumping my fingers on the desk. I'm sorry. That is the purpose, because the damage is already done. They write the article, they rehash the same things. She's a bully. She controls Harry. Harry is a puppet. Blah 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 blah. You folks know the rest. So they just find another way to mix it up and say whatever. It's the same thing with Spotify. Somehow, miraculously, they completely forgot that she overtook Joe or whatever, right? I mean, the number one dude, the number one bro. No one could have, and Megan Sussex did. She was for one at certain points number one across the globe, and in many countries, either 1, 2, within the top 5. And somehow, oh, the podcast was a failure. And then you have this bitter CEO, whatever he was. Oh, they're just drifters. They're drifters. Oh, go learn how to clean your behind properly, please. Ugh, did I just say that? Ugh, I don't know why I said that. but that's my point, right? Because they continue to do these things, and for us, many of us are going like, this has been debunked a million times. This makes no sense. How would it make sense if this is like, but it doesn't matter, because what the intention of the article is to write it and then have these brainless zombies, these sort of racist, misogynistic, misogynoir bots, then go, oh, she's a, you see, and amplify it. I mean, you go in any of the comment sections on any magazine, on Hello, on Hola, on People, any of them, on the Daily Fail, and there is still repeating the same bloody things from 8 years ago. Nothing new. Nothing new. They speak as if they know this person, and they don't. I mean, Tom Toilet, it's the same thing. Inventing stuff. I mean, I don't question that, the camel/horse says whatever she says, because listen, we know her character. We know this sort of adulterer, this sort of, streetwalker. Because you see, these people think because they're aristocratic. I'm aristocratic. You're a streetwalker. A streetwalker. That's what you are. Indecent. Shame on you. I don't doubt with the way she treated Diana, Princess Diana, the way she even treated Prince Harry. No doubt. The way she went and have lunch and dinners or whatever she has with I'm having a day today. I want to call people names, and I'm just like, I need to stop. I really do. With the Morgan person and the other one that has fantasies of colonialism. He has fantasies of taking a black biracial woman, a princess, and do the things that he was. You know, these people are so sick in the head. They're so sick in the head. They still they still sort of have in their DNA that there's still this big empire that they own. And anyone that is not like them, they need to dominate, humiliate, and put them in their place. They need to show the rest of us that we are savages. Oh, come on. I'll give you a mirror and I'll show you who's a savage. Because you mean to tell me that came out of his head, that fantasy. And so many people didn't blink an eye. It's the same reason why that other drunken whatever her name is, Levine is something, knew what that man was doing to children. Knew. And when she was confronted, she goes, "Oh, you're not accusing me of anything, are you? Like, how you better not say that about me. Like, he was such an important man. He had all this power. Like you can't be blaming it on me." Knew what this man was doing to children, and she said absolutely nothing. Didn't report it. Didn't call a friend to tell a friend if she did. Like, come on. That's the type of people we're dealing with here.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard on this inaugural flight, where our flight attendants are wearing their new uniforms. We also have a new graduate of the Flight Attendant Royal Academy that will be serving on board. So be kind to our new flight attendant, Katerina. Fly high, Katerina. Welcome aboard and welcome to Majesty's Sussex Airline. We are sure you will serve our passengers well.
Tea, please.
Well, obviously, I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to. Obviously, on to this day, and going forward and things, it is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So, yeah, I do.
You look awfully familiar, but I think there is a fundamental misunderstanding of what I asked for. I didn't mean for you to spill the tea, even though I didn't quite understand what you were saying. I just wanted some tea to drink. Daily Mail and General Trust, DMGT, Lord Rothermere's Empire. Jonathan Hamsworth, 4th Viscount Rothermere, is the chairman and controlling shareholder of DMGT, which publishes the Daily Mail, Mail on Sunday, Mail Online, Metro, and I. He inherited his controlling position and 100% of the company voting shares from his father in 1998. In 2021, Rothermere took DMGT fully private in a deal worth approximately £810 million, about $1.1 billion, removing even the limited scrutiny of public shareholders. Rothermere's politics are broadly described as conventional, moderate Tory, though the Daily Mail has historically pushed hard right, pro Brexit, and anti immigrant editorial lines. The first Viscount Rothermere, the current Lord great grandfather, was so close to Oswald Mosley, British Union of Fascists, the Daily Mail staff began to mimic their dress, and the newspaper famously published the headline, "Hooray for the Black Shirts" in 1934. And if you want an explanation of that, look at the podcast from yesterday. In January 2026, at London High Court, Prince Harry testified that associated newspapers published of the Daily Mail had made Meghan's life an absolute misery. Through sustained, um, uh, 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 often illegal information gathering, through surveillance and targeted negative coverage, Harry told the court he wasn't allowed to complain when he was a working royal. That word "working royal" is just it just irks me. I, I can't explain exactly why. It just irks me. Anyways, the palace policy being never complain, never explain, meaning the harassment occurred for years without institutional response. The connection between the Rothermere family and the British establishment is literal and social. Lord Rothermere was formally invited by King Charles III to a state banquet, and I believe it's the one where the Orange Man had the last time. An extraordinary gesture towards the owner of the newspapers that Harry says made his wife life miserable. That shows you how much they do care about Meghan, don't they? This is the embodiment of what Meghan described in the 2021 Oprah interview when she said, "There is a reason that these tabloids have holiday parties at the palace. They're hosted by the palace." All right? Okay. News Corp, the Murdoch machine. Rupert Murdoch's News Corp owns The Sun, the now defunct News of the World, The Times, the Sunday Times in Britain, plus Fox News, the New York Post, and the Wall Street Journal globally. In January 2025, after 5 years of legal pursuit by Prince Harry, News Group Newspapers, NGN, Murdoch's UK division, issued a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex. NGN offers a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for the serious intrusion by the Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for the Sun. The settlement included substantial financial damages and an admission of phone hacking, surveillance, and misuse of private information by journalists and private investigators. Harry's lawyer stated outside the court that the Sun's then CEO, Rebecca Brooks, that's another one, I swear, ran a criminal enterprise. News Group had previously paid in excess of $1.5 billion to settle more than 1,300 individual claims of unlawful information gathering. Harry stated this. Harry stated the settlement was a vindication for the hundreds of other claimants who were strong-armed into settling without being able to get to the truth of what was done to them. I tell you, that whole rule about you have to accept if and you know you never know if they offer you a financial payment, right, and you don't accept it and you go to the end and then the judge or whoever awards you a penny more or a penny less or something, however it works, then you have to pay for the entire thing even though you're the victim. I just find it ridiculous. They need to like do something about that. But will they? No, 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 no.
Show up, do good, that's how the fire starts. One light, one voice, one beating heart. Be kind, be brave, let the fear fall away. You are the change we need today. We showed up and did good. Now join us and let's change the world. Show up, do good, every voice, every hand. We are builders of a better land. Hope is our song, love is our guide. Together we rise, together we shine.
We don't need permission, no spotlight or stage. The world turns better with every act of grace.
Peace, justice, kindness. Together we rise.
Strong enough from dawn of rock to the stars above. No act too small, no soul unseen. This is how we build the dream. Show up, do good, let your life be the spark that lifts the world out of the dark. Believe, begin, you're already enough. Every step, a seed of love. We showed up.
Good evening, everyone. How are we doing tonight? I am so grateful to be here to be able to celebrate my dear friend and co-founder of Alliance of Moms and board member for Alliance for Children's Rights, Kelly Seiferman.
And did good.
Show up, do good, we'll rise side by side, changing the world with love as our guide. Be kind, be true.
This call is for you. You are the change. You are the change.
Isn't it absolutely lovely? Just lovely. I thought what Feminegra wrote here. I'm just going to read it back to you folks. Meghan Sussex has never needed a red carpet to make an impact, but when she does step out, the effect is immediate. Her surprise appearance in Beverly Hills on Thursday night offered a reminder of that rare combination of influence and intention. As she showed up to support her longtime friend Kelly McKee Zifrin at the Alliance for Children's Rights annual Champions for Children Gala. The focus of the evening remained where it belonged, on the work being done to support vulnerable children and families. Yet, Meghan's presence ensured the event reached far beyond the room. That has become something of a pattern. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you remember, the Duke and the Duchess of Sussex said once that if there's going to be all of this media scrutiny on them and attention on them, whether they say something or don't say something, whether they sneeze or not sneeze, they wake up, they go for a walk, they don't go for a walk, whatever. They said that what they will do is then highlight. I mean, if you're going to talk about us, we're going to take you to places, we're going to take you to events, issues that need to be highlighted, that need spotlight on them. So if you're going to be spotlighting us, or either one of us, you will also be spotlighting that particular issue or that particular event. Just beautiful. Wonderful. And now let's get back to our schedule issue at hand here. The structural relationship between the British royal family and the right wing tabloid press is not coincidental. It is symbiotic and has been described by media scholars as an invisible contract, same as with Prince Harry. In exchange for curated access, stage photo opportunities, and favorable coverage of working royals, tabloids are given informal permission to publish negative stories about those the palace wishes to sideline. Professor Adrian Bingham of the University of Sheffield, co author of Tabloid Century, confirmed to NPR, "It's very clear that for decades the palace and different members of the royal family have had press operations, words in the air of editors to not run stories, to close certain things down." Absolutely. There has been a detailed press management operation throughout recent decades. Harry explicitly accused members of his own family of briefing tabloids against him and Meghan. Meghan explained the mechanism in the Oprah interview. Tabloids receive palace hospitality at holiday parties. Working royals receive favorable coverage in exchange for cooperation. Those who step outside the arrangement, as Harry and Meghan did, face the withdrawal of that protection and the full force of hostile coverage. Academic analysis and independent quantitative research confirms the extraordinary disparity in coverage, right? You can see there on your screen. This Guardian analyzed data covering 843 articles across 14 print newspapers from May 2018 to January 2020 demonstrates that Meghan received more than 5 times as many negative headlines as Kate Middleton during the same period. The two women were often covered identically in terms of behavior, sort of like same outfit, same baby bump moments, yet receive diametrically opposed media treatment. Right? You folks all remember when they would put those headlines one against each other, the two women doing exactly the same thing. You will remember the whole avocado thing, right? So this is what this is referring to. Incredible, absolutely incredible. The pipeline from tabloid story to public perception does not stop at the printed page. A 2021 investigation by Bot Sentinel, I mean, most of us know about this research, but I thought I would include it. A platform that tracks inauthentic and coordinated behavior on Twitter analyzed 114,000 tweets about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Just 55 primary accounts were responsible for generating the core hate content. A further 28 secondary accounts systematically amplified the primary ones. Together, these 83 accounts were responsible for approximately 70% of all hate content targeting Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. This content had the potential to reach over 17 million users. But Sentinel concluded the majority of the anti-Meghan and Harry activity was not organic. It is coordinated. A separate investigation by Rolling Stone's own reporting, their own reporting, an irony given that PMC owns the Rolling Stones, found that just 5 YouTube hate accounts channel targeting Meghan collectively were earning more than $42,000 a month. $42,000 a month, meaning YouTube's monetization. Algorithm directly incentivized the harassment. Christopher Buzzi, CEO of Bot Sentinel, stated plainly, YouTube bears responsibility. Many of these individuals would not engage in such behavior if YouTube was not incentivizing them. And we know this. As I said in the previous episode, right? This account gets like maybe $150 a month, if that, right? And as I've said, like the account is struggling to get 500 people to view the stuff. And I've been so surprised and I welcome it and I'm happy. Thank you so much. Because this last episode, it reached over 1,000 people. Mind you, they're only watching for like five or 6 minutes. I'm not complaining, okay? I'm not complaining. I'm just saying they watch for 5 or 6 minutes and then they just go to something else. I swear, folks, I swear I must be the most boring person delivering this information. The most boring person or it's the format that I do this in or something, because you mean to tell me 5? That's not even the intro. Okay, enough. Let me collect myself again. So the mechanism works as follow. A PMC, right, or DMGT or News Corp. So all of these that I've been talking about, outlets, publishes a negative story, usually citing anonymous sources. So that's number one. Number two, the hate accounts, many operating in a coordinated network, amplified the story across Twitter, now X, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. 3, the amplification gives the impression of widespread public sentiment and organic interest. 4, other outlets cite the public reaction as justification for further coverage. 5, repeated over 8 years, the false narratives continue embedded in public consciousness. What researchers call manufactured consent via Herman and Crumsey propaganda model. Do you see what's happening? The use of anonymous sources is journalistic. It's okay to actually use it, right? With legitimate purposes. Whistleblowers, sensitive diplomatic matters, and personal safety concerns justify anonymity. However, when applied systematically to destroy the reputation of private individuals with no way to rebut, right, unverifiable claims, it becomes a liability-free defamation mechanism. As the academic analysis in The Conversation noted, the Daily Beast published a story that contained highly derogatory allegations about the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan. quoting anonymous sources. The piece was apparently aimed at refuting an earlier story in US Weekly that praised Meghan and her management style and featured people quoted by name, the named sources who praised her. Now, that was overridden by unnamed sources who attacked her. How does that make any sense? The pattern repeats across DMGT and PMC publications. Claims about staff mistreatment are sourced to unnamed palace insiders. Claims about Netflix intentions are sourced to unnamed Netflix insiders. Claims about business failures are sourced to unnamed industry sources. They have even been allegations of British tabloids attempting to pay people to lie about Meghan, and we know this. In a legal environment where the burden of proof lies with the claimant and where the financial cost of um, taking these people to court against the media corporation is prohibitive for most individuals, it's too expensive. So anonymous source stories can circulate, right, indefinitely without any accountability whatsoever, any at all. Now, academic research consistently identifies race and gender as structural factors in the coverage. Communication scholar Sibu Chen at Toronto Metropolitan University published a peer reviewed analysis examining the intersection of Meghan's identity as a feminist, a Black biracial woman, American media celebrity, with Brexit era British nationalism. The research noted that the early Daily Mail piece headlining Meghan's neighborhood as gang infested, gang scared, as straight out of Compton, established a racially coded framing from the very beginning of the relationship. The broader context is the right wing media ideological project. So, tabloids in the UK that support Brexit opposed immigration and amplified anti woke, quote unquote, narratives found in Meghan. Um, they found in her the sort of perfect symbolic target, an American Black biracial feminist woman who in some ways interrupted the established order of a historically white institution. Harry's decision to publicly align himself with her against the institution and the tabloids made him a traitor to the same conservative establishment. All true, right? This dynamic map directly it maps directly onto the American context under PMC. So Jay Penske's media empire, founded in part, let me remind you, by a $200 million Saudi investment and operating within a family political structure or culture that has directed millions to Trump and the GOP, is now replicating the British tabloid pattern for American audiences. Using entertainment industry framing, Hollywood is quitting on them rather than royal gossip, but with the same anonymous source, architecture, and the same negative conclusion. I wonder what Willie was talking to those people in Saudi Arabia about. I wonder. I wonder. The evidence taken together reveal not a conspiracy in the conspiratorial sense, but something arguably more powerful, an aligned ideological ecosystem in which ownership, For example, Penske, Trump GOP, Rothermere, conservative establishment, Murdoch, global, right-wing person, shares political values and social networks with the institutions they cover. So, in other words, the palace has relations with these media groups. The palace is more, or the institution per se, is conservative, and so are these media groups. Editorial culture shifts under financial and ownership pressure towards content that reinforces conservative narratives and punishes those who challenge established power. The other thing we know is that anonymous sourcing provides a liability free mechanism to publish damaging claims that cannot be legally contested. I know many of you say, oh, Meghan and Harry should sue them. Meghan and Harry should get their lawyers. Meghan and Harry should do this. It is, I don't want to say it's a waste of money. It's not a waste of money, but it's very difficult the way the laws are established presently when they say anonymous sources to contest what is there. And once you bring that forth in forth of a court or a judge, then the other side also has the right to go through your stuff, right? In their discovery process. Social media amplification networks, some coordinated and some are organic. So they ensure that each published story reaches millions and becomes embedded as common knowledge. As I said before, people who are not involved in this stuff, who are not paying attention to it, they're most likely not to like Meghan and to think that Harry is just a chicken. Because unconsciously, they hear this stuff over and over and over and over, repeated over and over and over, and without them knowing, it's embedded in their system that Harry and Meghan are not great people. Right? Repetition over 8 years transforms false or unverifiable narratives into culturally accepted truth. Precisely the mechanism that in my research that they talk about. And they've identified as manufacturing consent. Now, institutional complicity. Through the palace's invisible contract with the press and through social relationships between media owners and the royal family, ensures that those inside the system are protected while those who exit it, like Harry and Meghan, become fair target. But not only that, it's in the institution best interest to have Harry and Meghan fail. They need to fail. I've wondered over and over, it's been 8 years now, why haven't they stopped? Because Harry and Meghan are not failing, they're succeeding, right? So they need to continue doing this because what their success indicates to the generations behind that you can leave the institution. It will not be easy, but you can leave it and still create a path for yourself, no matter what they say. So the legal record reinforces every element of this analysis. News group newspapers admitted to phone hacking, surveillance, and misuse of private information. Associated Newspapers is currently defending itself in high court privacy claim. Meghan won her Mail on Sunday privacy case at the Court of Appeal in 2021. These are not allegations, my friends. They are adjudicated legal facts, settlements, and admissions of wrongdoing by the very institutions still publishing negative stories today.
This is a video for Princess Diana. Princess D, let me update you about what's been going on there. by the UK since you left us to go be with the Lord. Number one, our mothers are obsessed with you. I don't know the chokehold you have on black women, but every time they talk about you, they get a little bit teary. I'm like, how popular were you? Like, honestly, how popular were you? Because you are still popular till today. Number two, they finally got married. They finally got married in 2005. I know, my sister, I know he did you dirty. But in 2005, they got married and they became a public couple. Well, they became public before then, but you know what I mean. So, yeah, they got married. She became Duchess. Yeah, I don't have much to say about that, but I know he did you dirty. Number three, your former mother-in-law, she's no longer with us. She's no longer here. The Queen is no longer here with us. Unless you already know this because she's up there. If not, that means she's at the other place. That's why I'm updating you. In case you don't know, then you know that if she's not there with you, then she's probably at the other. I'm not laughing, I'm just saying. Number four, and this one's gonna probably break your heart. Your sons are not getting along. Your kids are not getting along, Princess D. I'm sorry. It's breaking everyone's heart, especially like our mothers. But like to us, we are like their siblings. They're probably just fighting. They'll come back together eventually. But apparently there's some sort of tussle. I don't understand, but they are not getting along. That's what's being reported. And I know this was going to make you very sad because from what I understand, you really, really wanted to protect those kids from the public eye. Number five, which I think this is good news. You have 5 grandkids. You have 5 grandkids. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. 5 healthy grandkids. That's a good thing. A lot more has happened, but this is like the gist. This is just the gist, like a snapshot of like things that I think you want to know immediately, but there's a whole lot of more.
So it turns out that it was Mother's Day in Britain this past Sunday. I did not know that, but it turns out it was their Mother's Day, right? And then Prince Pledge, Princess Diana's eldest son, he sent out a message on social media talking about how he misses his mom, you know, wishing his mom a heavenly Happy Mother's Day or whatever, right? Even though he called her paranoid and basically just trashed her legacy and continues to do so. And then... And like in all of this performance, he didn't wish his own wife, the mother of his children, a Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, but which, you know, fine, because who are we to judge? But here's the very important part. The Daily Mail apparently then goes and pushes out an article that says something along the lines of Princess Kate purposefully opted not to send herself a Happy Mother's Day message. And that's important because, like, Prince Pledge, Princess Diana's eldest son, when he was doing all of this nonsense, he was doing it on their public account. And people, I guess, noticed that there was a very notable mother who was missing from his well wishes. So now we're being told that he actually... no, she actually purposefully left herself out. Like... This is why I don't come on the internet, because nonsense like this happens, and now I must... Anyway, keep your thinking hat on and ask yourself, why are all of these things happening, and why are you being told about it? Like, it just... Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.
Are you having fun, my love? Archie. Yes, I think you can. Let's go.
Meghan Markle just posted a video where she's arranging flowers and then her 4-year-old daughter gingerly interrupts her with a little whisper.
Yes,
Yes, I think you can. My daughter is the exact same age as Meghan. She would never gingerly interrupt me. Whisper.
Just get up.
Okay.
It's my video now, girl.
I must admit that had me on the floor. It literally had me on the floor. I thought it was so funny, so absolutely funny. Well, folks, I've had you hanging out here, and this one went over an hour, and I'm already late again, and the uploading is just taking forever. I just have to just let it be, let go, let be. I was trying to say that to my mother today. We're having, anyway, some issues, and not that directly with my mom, but it's just causing lots of stress. Let me just put it that way, lots of stress. But you can only control what you can control. As I said to my mom, you can only control your response. We can only control how we respond to things. We can't control how people respond to us, or what people say to us, or what people do. We're not responsible for their behavior. We're responsible for ours. That's it. So thank you, folks. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, as always. And I hope this episode has confirmed things for stuff you already knew. And if there's anything new that you learned, that's also fantastic and great. As I said prior, I take pride in the work that I do and I bring to you. I do due diligence with research and make sure what I'm saying to you, I can prove it, or it's stuff that I've researched, and I have the publications or sources that I've gotten the information from. So thank you so very much. Also, not everything has to be so like academic. I understand. And I also try and do some fun stuff in between, okay? But thank you. Thank you for those who continue to support this channel. Thank you for showing up, even if it's just 5 or 6 or 10 of you or 20 of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for watching the entirety of the presentation. It makes a big difference to me, because at least I know someone is watching it, and to the work, right? And hey, I just want to say, I don't know. In fact, I think I'm going to get emotional, so I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. I love you, folks. Thank you very much. And here is to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Hooray. Salute to them for continuing to do the good work that they need to do. I said this at the beginning of when I started this journey, that I know they're meant for something special, and I know that the people that want to tear them down want them to be seen as an example. So the rest of us don't have any ambition. So the rest of us don't walk into spaces that were not designed or made for us. But guess what, folks? They weren't counting on people like you and people like us. But here we are, day in, day out. And we will continue to defend them. We will continue to pray for them. And we will continue to show up. Okay? And buy boxes with beautiful flowers in them, and tea and honey and candles and all the good stuff, because we believe in them. And as Baron usually says, I want to see them be billionaires. So do I, Baron. Okay? Let them be billionaires and in their faces. There you go. Love you, folks. Take care of yourselves. Okay? And be kind to yourself. Be kind to your loved ones. And to that stranger crossing your path, oh, sorry, be kind to them also. God bless. Take care until we speak again. Mwah.
They said it was news. But news does not bleed like this. News does not hunt. News does not whisper and then roar.
Headlines screaming in the dead of night, painted truth in borrowed light. They write the story before it's lit, and sell the fear they learn to give.
They twist the words, they shape the blame, turn love to scandal, truth to shame. 1,000 voices all the same, different faces, same old game.
And we believe what we were told, printed lies in black and gold. But something's breaking through the noise, a quiet truth, a rising voice.
You set the ink on fire, turn whispers into war, build kingdoms out of silence, then asked us to want more. But we see through the pages, now we hear what's never said. You don't report the story, you write it in our heads. Truth won't bow, truth won't bend, truth won't bend.
Sources say, but no one speaks. Insiders claim the story leaks, carefully crafted line by line, a perfect storm by grand design.
They crown the villain, choose the fall, decide who rises, who they call. And when the truth begins to breathe, they bury it beneath belief.
I see the pattern clear as day, a script we never chose to play. But hearts don't lie and eyes can see the space between reality. You set the ink on fire, turn whispers into war, build kingdoms out of silence, then ask us to want more. But we see through the pages, now we hear what's never said. You don't report the story, you write it in our head. Oh,
We won't carry what you fed.
We won't carry what you fed. What happens when the people stop believing the paper?
What happens when the silence breaks?
When truth no longer bends for power?
And we refuse the lies you make. You set the ink on fire, but we became the flame. No longer just your headline, no longer in your game. We write our own tomorrow now. No script for you to sell. You built your throne on stories, but truth will make it fall.
Not everything printed is real.
And not every silence is empty.